Let everyone in. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hello, my name is Becca, Sweetheart Success Coach. We had about 80 people register for this webinar, which tells us that there is a lot of interest, and there's no better time than right now to get enrolled with Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. I'm joined today by Crystal Riveras. Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. And thanks for everyone for joining. Let us know where you're joining us from, because today we're going to explore the online holistic health and wellness coaching diploma here with Sweeha. So bring all of your questions. What I love about these webinars is that we can pass the mic so that you can ask your questions in real time. I don't need you to hold them until the end. I want us to have a dialogue here so that you can get everything that you need. Because this time is about you. And if you've connected with a coach, all the better. If you have not, we're going to connect you with a coach before we end today. So let me go ahead and tee us off with, you know, a little bit about the program. And like I said, use the raise your hand feature. Yes, a couple of you are already doing that. Candy, hi. And I will ask you guys to raise your hand so that I can unmute you as we go along. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll get us teed up with the slideshow here. Crystal, can you let me know if you can see my screen?
I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, so let's jump on in. And it's just in time for lunch here in Arizona. So hope you get hungry and let us know what brings you to explore holistic health and wellness coaching, right? Like what area of your life excites you about this? Maybe you've made some healthy changes for yourself. But let's jump on into what this is about because this is with the concentration in holistic nutrition. So we're going to explore what becoming a health and wellness coach is, talk about the curriculum, what you can do with this as a career, and then talk about our alliance with the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaching. Okay. So Crystal and I have been working for Sweeha. What? I'm over like a decade now. Crystal, how long have you been at Sweeha?
It'll be 10 years in February.
Oh my gosh, look at us go. Okay.
Oh.
So we are part of the Sweetheart Lifer community, which means we never leave. We kind of are always connected in some way, but I became a health and wellness coach back in the day. It started with becoming a life coach and learning how to hold space for people as they make changes. I myself have to do that as a health and wellness coach. So what we do as health and wellness coaches is, as you can see here, we guide and support individuals in making lasting, healthy lifestyle changes. Can we always do this alone? No, that's what becoming an accountability partner means as a health and wellness coach. We help our clients develop personalized wellness plans that includes nutrition, exercise, stress management, movement, meditation, all of the things, journaling, self-awareness, whatever that looks like for you. And we can talk about that a little bit further. We can lead one-on-one sessions with clients. We can have group sessions. You can do this virtually. You can do it in person. I mean, you name it, the sky's the limit. It's about you and what you do in this space. We use holistic, evidence-based approaches to promote overall well-being. So some people, when they come to this space, they're like, well, what does holistic mean? Right? A lot of people think holistic means like natural. Actually, holistic means the whole, right? So I tell everyone to put a W on the front of holistic, and it really means like the whole self, right? Mind, body, spirit, which is what we teach here. And we help clients set realistic goals and provide accountability support, like I kind of named. Crystal, what would you say health and wellness coaching is after I just rambled the list?
Yeah, I mean, it means a couple of different things to our students because it really just depends on the direction they're going into. With Sweeha being a holistic healing school, some people just want to have their own personal business and coach people. But there is an opportunity to become board certified and, to work with doctors and be referred patients, and actually coach people around different health conditions. So it's like life coaching where you'll learn to coach one-on-one and in a support group type setting, but then you take it up a notch and you learn to coach around the mental and emotional struggles of different health conditions and then different behavior changes. So if you quit drinking, smoking, or if you're like, hey, I need to eat more nutritiously or start moving my body a little bit more, things come up emotionally, physically, and it's good to have a coach to help you through it. um, yeah, so
Absolutely.
that is,
No, I get it. I mean, just like this image here, like I love seeing this lady having a relationship with her food, right? When I first started the holistic nutrition program, because I had kind of like an eating disorder growing up, going through society and what I needed to look like or be like. And then, having a child, it's like it no longer was about looks. It was like, how healthy am I, really, like from the inside? So when I changed kind of my perception of health, it wasn't about what I look like, it was about how I feel. And then what I look like is a kind of the action, right, of taking care of myself holistically and nutritionally. So what this looks like too, and what I learned in the nutrition program was I don't always have to cook my food, right? I'm preparing my food. I'm having a relationship with my meal, which I thought was kind of funny at the start, but then when you get into it, it's like it's really this beautiful exchange of energy. Like I'm receiving health from and medicine from what I'm eating. So this picture just resembles like a lot. One of my teachers, Janet Lee, she actually didn't even like cook her food. Like she never used her stove, she never used her oven. She was very much into raw foods, which I also fell in love with, like keeping the nutrition in my food. I didn't even know that I was cooking the nutrition out of my food. So this program offers a lot of insight and changes a lot of perception for students as they go through the curriculum to become a health and wellness coach. So, any questions from anyone about what a health and wellness coach is? Maybe some of you already have a background in health and wellness coaching. And if you do, I'd love to hear from you. Candy, you had your hand raised at the beginning. I wasn't sure if you actually had a question right now, or if you wanted to unmute yourself, you can let me know. Again, just raise your hand, if you guys want to be unmuted to ask questions out loud. Okay.
I did say
So
that
this,
I felt you were
yeah, go ahead.
echoing.
Am I
Candy put a
echoing?
Q&A. Not to me, and I muted you just in case it was coming
Oh,
through my speaker to you. But yeah, in the Q&A, Candy put that.
oh, I didn't see it. Sorry about that. Let me know if I'm still echoing for anybody. Okay. I can I can go into the other room if I'm still echoing. Okay. So this is the what it looks like for the diploma program. This is a course sheet, and I'll show you the full curriculum. But what this shows are the core courses. So this is what everybody has to take within the program. The Grit for Success, Foundation of Holistic Nutrition, the Somatic Psychology, which Crystal kind of touched on, Psychology of Addictions and Disordered Eating, and then the Grit, the Student Journey. So we're very clear about expectations about what our students are going to experience within the curriculum, how this is set up, how it flows. And everyone will also be taking the applied holistic nutrition focus. Crystal, do you want to talk a little bit about any of these portions of the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So TP 106, that top class, is one of the first classes you take. Actually, TP 106 and HN 105 are your first two classes. The Grit for Success has one of my all-time favorite books. The book is The Upside to Stress by Kelly McGonigal. She does have a TED Talk, so if you're interested, it is about stress. So the whole book is kind of reframing your brain around stress and what it means. Most of us grew up thinking like, stress is an enemy. Stress is going to cause all these illnesses and diseases and just going to kill us basically. And for a long
Hmm.
time, she went around the country speaking and sharing that that was true. And then after doing some more research, she said, you know what? That's only true if you believe it to be true. So you start
Hmm.
thinking about how you think about stress and the way that it physically shows up in your body. Like your heart starts like racing, and then is this like anxiety, or is this actually like making me stronger so I can actually stand up to the challenge? It talks about just like excitement and fear or anxiety, like they're the same exact, like they show up in the body. It's our brain that kind of chooses, like, oh, this is bad or this is good. So just like before we even start this big program, like the very first class we are learning and preparing with is reframing our brains around stress and to build more resiliency and grit. And it's just a phenomenal way to start the program. I love it. I reread that book every so often because
Hmm.
it's just such a good one.
I love that.
Oh,
Perception is reality.
it is. It really is.
Hmm.
And then, of course, somatic psychology is one of my all time favorite things. Again, just how we're feeling things in our nervous system. I'm a big feeler. So, the nervous system, are we regulated? I mean, in the health and wellness portion of it, you think of rest and digest. Are you calm? Are you in a place where your body's going to process the food? Or are you so anxious or depressed that like your body is not is has put that on hold and they're focusing on like what they think is fear? So how do we grow that space of like our window of tolerance of being regulated and just at peace and calm? And I love it. I love all of it. The curriculum's amazing.
I love it too. Let me know if that's better, Candy. I actually moved location, so now I'm talking at a wall. So hopefully that's a little better for you. Um, when you get into all of the holistic nutrition focus courses, kind of the things that I mentioned about the discovery and the aha moments about nutrition, about food, about our gut biome, like I didn't even know what a gut biome was when I got into this. We even did like testing our blood type, for our food. And there was just so many, I think, mind-opening education like steps as you journey through the program that kind of has you reassess about how we were raised, what we were rewarded with, why we choose what we choose. Doing like a nutritional assessment of what's in our refrigerator and what's in our pantry, what's accessible, when we're eating, what are we doing when we're eating, right? Like I said, having a relationship with your food and being mindful, like mindful eating and self-awareness go so hand in hand. What I learned, I think what I love the most about the program is intuitive eating. Like some people are programmed to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're kind of raised on that standard American diet. But when you come to this new self-awareness and understand food as medicine, then we can kind of listen to our body of what is my body needing right now, right? Like what I crave sometimes are colors. Says I'm still echoing. Um, Darn it. Is anyone else having trouble with the echoing? I'm so sorry, Candy. That makes me sad. Let me know if I'm echoing for anyone else, please. Um, and then, nutrition across life cycles, right? Because at every different life stage, we kind of need different things. For example, being postpartum and having children, like gray matter in your brain shrinks and you have to restore it with, a lot of fatty oils and taking supplements. So, I mean, there's so many things that we can look at. And then a big part for me, Crystal, I don't know if for you too, is like assessing our caloric intake and output, right? It's like I'm sedentary all day. I don't require as much, but when I go do, activities and I need more calories, like we can eat for energy, not just eat to eat. So for me, there was a lot of aha moments in this program. And I'm curious if anyone on the webinar has any nutrition background. Sometimes we get a lot of nurses who come to our education. We've had doctors, counselors, I mean, people from all industries who are called to step into holistic wellness and education. So I'm just kind of curious about backgrounds. Does anyone want to kind of speak to their background and what draws them to this education? I'm just curious. Not yet. No problem. No pressure. Just curious. Okay. I think we've covered these portions. What we are excited about is combining urban gardening and practical herbalism with nutrition. And as Crystal talked about, the somatic psychology for trauma and regulation. Um, we also teach amazing coaching techniques. Like you've kind of heard Crystal talk about the book and reframing stress. There's a lot of coaching tools that you'll gain that you'll use on yourself and that you'll also be able to use with clients. Laura said, this might be a question for later, but can you take applied nutrition focused classes as a standalone and not do the rest of the program right away? Absolutely, you can. You can start as big or small here at Sweeha. So you can take individual classes, you can take a certificate of excellence, you can always transfer them up and into the next stage when you're ready. For those who are looking to do this for career purposes and take the 750-hour program in full, you can take that um, and have the more robust program or start small. Either way, it works. Crystal, you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so nutrition is a 200-hour certificate. Honestly, all the pieces of this program are their own certificates. So, nutrition, health coaching, the urban gardening, practical herbalism, they're all their own certificates. Nutrition, I just looked it up. We have two upcoming starts. The first one would be July 20th, which is the same date as the Holistic Health and Wellness Coaching Program. After that, it'll be August 24th. It is a certificate of excellence. The biggest difference between a certificate and a diploma is the amount of classes you take at a time. So the slower pace would be the certificate. You're taking one class at a time. In the full diploma program, you're taking two classes, so it's double the work. But if you take the nutrition program, you love it, and you say, I absolutely want to take the rest of the classes, we can always transfer that into a diploma and you can take more. Or if that's all you want to learn, you can take that. For our students over 65, we do have a Silver Wisdom Scholarship on our certificates where you can get half off of tuition. So if you're over 65, ask for that discount.
Yeah. And I'm gonna also pull this up on Facebook too, our Facebook Live, just to see if I'm going there too. Good. Great. I love this. No, this is perfect when you ask questions. And then we have the best business development piece, obviously. So when you're birthing your brand or figuring out how you're going to put yourself out in the world in a loving and profitable way, we're there to help you establish your brand, talk about getting an LLC, how to put yourself out there on social media, whatever that looks like for you, it's going to look different for everybody. That's why it's important to have a one-on-one call with a coach, an admissions coach to just kind of talk about your intention, right? What are you looking to do with this? And talk about the realities of getting enrolled to explore taking this into, as you see here, a way to serve your future clients through holistic nutrition, urban gardening, and practical herbalism. Um, for years, we've had people ask, how can we get herbalism online? And this is it right here. It's perfectly combined with growing your own food right in your backyard. And what I love about the urban gardening program, because I did that as well, was learning how to zone my backyard. Like, I didn't know that there was an actual practical way to figure out sunlight when it's hitting different angles of my property so that then I could zone what I'm growing and then how to rotate those crops to make sure that the nutrients in the soil doesn't get depleted, right? You have to actually cycle those, which is pretty cool to learn. Looks like we have another question. Can you tell us how much the whole diploma plan will cost? Yes, absolutely. We will get to that. And I will show you the actual page where it breaks down costs so everyone can see everything in total. Okay, Crystal, how do you want to explain how we combine all of these amazing things in this program and why?
Yes.
Not for me.
So, I mean, Sweeha is an entrepreneurial based school. So, the intent is that you start taking clients, you build a business, or you add on to an existing business. Like Becca said, we have a lot of nurses, we have personal trainers, people who are already established, but they're looking to kind of add in these things. With the
Mhm.
holistic nutrition, so one of the most important things is here at Sweetheart, we don't teach the standard American diet. We teach what we call soul food. So it's
Mm,
seasonal, organic, unprocessed, and local. So you're learning how to eat. In the urban gardening and practical herbalism, you are learning how to grow and to harvest different herbs for whether it be cooking, whether that be for like first aid use, like herbalism first aid. Um, and the beautiful thing about Sweeha is that you get to kind of create that into whatever you want. Each student comes in here with their own vision of who they want to work with, how they want to help them. And you get to take all of these pieces and create the business of your dreams. So, like I said, personal trainers come in, they want to add this nutrition, they want to add the health coaching, nurses because they've been working in they're healers. They want to help heal people, but they just are not in the right industry anymore. So they
mhm.
want to kind of sidestep a little bit, and this way you are still healing people. You're just doing it with food and with herbs and using their bodies and their nervous systems and healing at the root of the problem, not just like masking it. Um, so yeah, just by
Yeah,
creating a beautiful business where you get to help other people.
yeah. Candy says she's really interested in this program. I'm so glad, Candy. I would love for you to share and let us know like your background if you're willing. Let us know like kind of what brings you here. While you're considering that, we teach soul food, which means seasonal, organic, unprocessed, and local, which is something I also fell in love with when I stepped into the program. Like I appreciate farmers markets more than ever before because I get to support small businesses, like family-owned businesses who, really care, right? They built something beautiful for themselves, for their families, and then they give back in our community so we can support one another. I feel like it's more intimate and special that way. But they're beautiful combinations. And the other thing that I loved when I did the urban gardening program, like I studied a little bit about how communities can kind of come together to do something special, right? And this idea came from Switzerland. I think I've told you this before, Crystal, where like neighborhoods will actually in Switzerland or country near there, they grow their crops in their front yard. Like they don't have yards of grass or rocks. Like it's food And so you always are growing something different on your street and in your community, and then you share, right? So you just share your food, you're growing it in your yard, and then you rotate crops because you have to rotate what you grow because it pulls nutrients from the soil. So it's like this amazing, it's just like this mind-blowing concept, but it's so practical when you think about it of like we water grass for no reason. Like grass is lovely, but it doesn't give back to us really, right? Can we go ground in it? Sure, but we can't like eat it or exchange it. So there's these concepts that when you think of applying it, even on a small level is great, but what if we all did that? Like how amazing would that be? Um, Absolutely amazing.
Sign me up.
And I know, serious. And what I love too about the urban gardening is I was taking it when my son was in school. So he got to learn kind of, being a steward of the land and how to grow your food and taking pride in, oh my gosh, mom, I see this seed turned into something we can actually eat. Like it's absolutely incredible to witness that. Um, but does anyone have questions about how these are combined and how you can apply these into obviously your life, but how you can work with clients in the health and wellness industry? That's what we're here to talk about. Um, yes, she is in this program. Okay. All right. We'll keep going on here. So there's like Crystal said, there's so many ways that you could take this, right? And part of marketing yourself in the business development portion is figuring out, are you going to be an entrepreneur, a solopreneur? Maybe you want to partner with somebody. Maybe you want to reach out to existing doctor's offices, chiropractic offices to see how you can become a referral, as a partner. Because a lot of mainstream medical practitioners, they're like, okay, we got your blood work. Here's what you're diagnosed with. Here's what you should do. Good luck, right? And then that's where a coach can come in to partner with you as an accountability partner to say, okay, just like you see this picture here, here's what we're working with. What are we going to do about it? And change is great because one step at a time can change your whole life, right? Like um what you can replace something with, right? Like so we can look at sugar, like refined sugar, right? What can we replace the sugar with in your diet to take it to a healthier place? Do you see the Q&As coming through, Crystal? Like I'm
Yes.
there we go. Sorry, got it. Okay, Candy. It has everything that I'm interested in, love, and want to learn more about. I'm going to leave though. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Echoing. Shoot. I
No, she
she
found out she
can't.
had two windows open.
Oh.
She fixed it. Yay.
Okay, she's here. I'm sorry. I just had to catch up to that. Okay, good. Good. You're with us. Um, okay. I'm thinking about where I left off. Okay. Replacing things in our diet. So I talk about this metaphor of if we look at this change we have to make, and there's like this whole book, and you look at the whole book of like, okay, great, I need to make changes. Nothing's going to change. But if you read it page by page, chapter by chapter, and make one change at a time, it becomes a beautiful, thing. Does that make sense, Crystal, what I'm saying? Like I had to replace dairy. It took me a while to just do that alone within my diet. But
Yeah. And a lot of people too, if you have kids, like you can't just
oops.
change everything. You're going to have to just change one little thing here, one little thing there. And that's part of the curriculum too. And like the whole foods, raw foods, cooking cuisine, you will need to change some of the recipes to make it more holistic and nutritious, but not deviate completely from like you can still have spaghetti and meatballs, but like a lot of people will blend in a lot of vegetables and hide it in the sauce. Or like how can we just change it slightly to make it better?
Yeah. There was a time where I think I was vegetarian for a while, but I realized like, I actually, my body still needs to eat meat. And how do I eat meat? And how do I eat meat not feeling guilty? Or how do I replace meat when I don't need to eat meat? So it's like looking at all the substitutes there, going to different grocery stores to see what's available. Like I love Trader Joe's, I love Sprouts. I get different ideas from going into this program on I don't have to just do what I was raised to do. I can look at, exploring and having healthier, wider options that were supporting my whole self. So again, this is going to look different for everybody. Maybe you have a focus in yoga, maybe you have a focus in massage, and you work with clients to support their health and well-being. But if we're not assessing what they're intaking, right, um, we're missing huge opportunity to support them on the deepest levels. So being able to support them with nutritional assessments when you take this program can actually help you say, okay, let's first assess this. I was working with a hypnotherapy student, Crystal, who, she said, I loved when I combined holistic nutrition with my practice because I was working with a lot of people who would come to me with anxiety and stress. And she said, I figured out the first thing I need to do was ask, how much caffeine are you intaking a day? How many cups of coffee do you have? How much soda do you drink? Like starting at baseline with like what are you intaking that can actually be a chemical cause of more anxiety and energy within self was like a huge turning point for her. So she actually starts her assessments to work with clients with the nutrition base, and then she takes it further. So I thought that was awesome,
That's so
obviously.
smart. I love that.
I know. And it just makes sense. So, okay. Any questions about what people can do with this as a career? And again, this is going to look different for everybody, where you're at in your life, what you come from, and where you're looking to take this. So, our coaching programs, like I mentioned before, um, our curriculum meets the standards by the NBHWC, which stands for National Board of Certified Health and Wellness Coaches. You can take the exam. You don't have to take the exam. Crystal, do you want to talk about that for everyone here?
Yes. Um, so, yes, the NBHWC, the National Board for Health and Wellness Coaching, it is an option at the end to become board certified. Our curriculum is an approved curriculum, so taking the program would be the first step in setting you up to become certified. Also, know that, like I said, this is its own program. So, if you only want to do the coaching, you only want to do the certification, that is an option. It's 200 hours. There are a couple of additional things that you'll need to do once you graduate. Like there's an assessment on your skills. You'll have to do a few extra sessions, but then you can register for the exam and take the test. You will take an exam prep class, so we will prepare you on how to prepare and study for the test. We have several people here at SWIHA who are board certified, who if you need help preparing or just mentally preparing, like we can always set you up with James or someone who has taken this test. But the biggest difference between becoming board certified or not becoming board certified is essentially, again, what do you want to do when you graduate? Like, are you wanting to work in more of a medical field setting? Are you wanting to work in more of a holistic, just coaching setting? Again, you can talk to your admissions coach and they can find out the right path for you. You can talk to your teachers along the way. It's not something you have to decide until after you graduate on if it's a right fit for you. But it definitely
And
opens
I
up a few
just,
more.
yeah. I just put the link to Katrina's calendar so that everyone can connect with her one-on-one if you have not yet talked with a coach. This is important because number one, you're going to experience what working with a coach is like because coaching is about asking the powerful questions so that you can speak your truths. Some people share stories that are just absolutely amazing. I've been in tears hearing some of the miraculous stories sometimes that people come to us with. And surprisingly, it's life that brings us to this space, right? Maybe you grew up with a parent who had diabetes and you feel called to support people in that space. Maybe heart disease is something that's near and dear to your heart. Like there's things that we go through, that we grow through, and then we feel called to step up and serve in that arena. And it makes sense because you feel more qualified in that space. So that holds a lot of power. Candy, you asked about the tuition, so I kind of want to just walk through where to find what on our website. So right now I'm on the program page. If you scroll over programs, courses, CEUs, if you view all programs for everyone here, because you asked about, starting small or going big, obviously we have like our degrees on campus, our certificates on campus, and diplomas on campus. Right now, we're looking at the online options. So you can see all of the online certificates, which are the smaller chunks. Okay. You cannot use these for financial aid as a standalone. If you eventually transfer it up and into a program, you can look at that with an admissions coach. This is what we're looking at right here is the Holistic Health and Wellness Coach Online. So if you click on that, it takes us to the program where we have the tuition breakdown of the 755-hour program. So everyone can go look at everything from books to registrations to tuition. It is all there for you. I'll go ahead and put that in the link. Oops. And copy that. Um, And you can see that they're all broken down by clock hours and everything here by program. So it's all front and center so everyone can see that. Let me copy that. And then everything is broken down here. As you can see, this program starts July 20th. Like Crystal said, you guys want to enroll at least, I say 2 weeks prior. Technically, it's 10 days. And again, it just shows you everything you can do, everything you'll learn through all of this. And this is the important part that I wanted to share with you guys, which is the program sheet. So you saw the core courses, what everybody takes, the applied nutrition focus, and then you can use these course codes. If you have a class calendar, there's a class calendar online, or if you have the printed version, it gives you a detailed description about what you're going to learn in each class, which I found very insightful. And then you have the urban gardening and practical herbalism breakdown, health and wellness coaching courses, and then your entrepreneur's journey course. And it's important to know that you don't take these classes in this order. You'll actually talk to your admissions coach about what you'll be taking to get started. And then you have an academic advisor as you go through the program as your accountability partner, along with your teachers. So, do you want to talk about the online learning platform a little bit, Crystal?
Yeah, and just to
Where
piggyback
people,
off of like
yeah,
funding for a minute,
yeah.
you did
Well,
mention the certificates are not financial aid eligible, but we do offer interest-free payment plans. So usually it's going to be total due divided by length of program. You put a card on file, it's automatically deducted. We can't extend it because we want it to be affordable. So that's just something, talk about it with your admissions coach. They can kind of work with you based off of your budget. And same with diplomas. If
absolutely.
you don't want to use financial aid, we can come up with an interest-free payment plan as well.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so
absolutely.
the learning platform or where you would go to school is called Canvas. Like you paint on a canvas. A lot of schools use this, so it is a familiar platform. And once you enroll, before you start, you will take a new student orientation to get very familiar with the platform. You'll know how to submit everything, upload videos. The program and the classes. So I'm going to start health and wellness because of the board certification is the only part of the program that will have live classes. Um, your classes live will be 5 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday or Wednesday, and that's Arizona time. It is not a lecture based class. You get to actually log into a Zoom breakout room where you'll practice coaching with your classmates. Your teacher will get to come in and give you feedback right on the spot. You get to build community. Um, and it's a great way to learn coaching. You know, you're actually doing it, you get coached yourself. That's the only class that's live. All of your other classes are weekly structured. So everything is pre-recorded. We have a sound booth, we have a curriculum department. They'll build everything. Monday morning when you wake up, your assignments are there. There's reading, there's videos, there's discussion questions. There's going to be some form of doing. So if you're in a cooking class, you might have to cook and take pictures or videos. If you're in urban gardening, you might be growing a plant. You might be using herbs for cooking. So something that you're just going to have to do. And then everything just needs to be turned in Sunday by midnight. So you have all week to work on it, but you have a start date and an end date to keep you structured and in place and going through the program with other students. So you're never alone. Um, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. I got to do my homework in my pajamas and when it was convenient for me, because, I don't learn best at night. We all work different. I figured out what was best for my lifestyle. Um, like she said, you got to take pictures of your homework, you get to eat your homework, you get to try new things, and it's fun. I've taken a lot of education online throughout my life, and I loved that I didn't feel alone with the curriculum. Like every class felt like a classroom, like it all had its energy. The instructors were so supportive, and like I feel like they went above and beyond what's required of teachers. Like they genuinely care about providing all of the things that are available, books, classes, where we could go in our community. If we weren't nearby, they would do research of like, you could go here or there. Um, what's really cool too is for people who want to put together like local workshops, there's so many grocery stores, like even Sprouts, you can rent or reserve classrooms to like host your own events. So it's going to look different for everybody going through this program. So I want to know what questions we have from everybody. You can raise your hand. I would love to hear from you guys. No pressure, but ask your questions out loud. That's what this is for.
Don't be
Um,
shy. Use your
I
voices.
know, I know. Um, of course, if you're busy, you can type them in. But we just want to know what questions you guys have. And what else? So for those who are looking to use financial aid, if you're going to do the whole program, you can fill out your FAFSA application and put in our school code 035933. We also do have a financial aid page on the website with everything there so that once you do fill that out, you want to be sure to let an admissions coach know so that we can connect you with a financial aid specialist who's going to go over what you qualify for. And like Crystal said, you know, if there's a will, there's a way. And our founder and owner has made it, possible so that everybody can achieve something through Sweeha and get something. So it's absolutely amazing here. And the interest-free payment plans, I think, are a huge blessing so that you can make smaller payments while you're going through the curriculum. What else? What other questions do we have? Q&A, great information. If I want to take one class, would I start with an advisor? I'll let you answer that, Crystal.
I would say just talk to an admissions coach regardless. That way they can find out what your goals are, they can suggest the proper classes, point you in the right direction. Yeah, and they can ask you some coaching questions to make sure that you are on the right path and you've thought of also everything yourself. So yeah, just schedule with a link with Katrina. She's amazing. She'll be able to yeah, answer your questions and help you out.
Yeah, and like she said, they'll help you pick the right class because there are some prerequisites. So like if you wanted to take something but didn't take the class to take before that, you could be guided in the right direction and where to start.
Yes.
So I think that's about it. Like we said, the program starts July 20th. I can't believe it's already June 23rd. Like, where did the time go? So again, I put the link in the chat so that you guys can talk with Katrina and let us know, you know, when you feel like you're ready to start. If it's not now, then we do have upcoming start dates, but you'll want to enroll by July 10th for this start. You can call us directly, 480-994-9244. You can email us. You can chat us live on the website. Of course, it's there too. But definitely talk with an admissions coach. That's what they're there for. And we will follow up with everybody with the recording. There were so many people who registered. I know a lot of people do watch the replays. Um, so we hope this is useful for you guys and that you'll find the right spot for you to start. Any last words of wisdom from you for this time and space today, Crystal?
Hmm. No, I mean, it just doesn't hurt to schedule an appointment with an admissions coach. Just talk it out, see if it's a right fit, if it's the right time. Do be aware that financial aid takes about 3 days to process, so you need to start that sooner than later. Um, no, but yeah, we're so happy that you were here with us today. We had such a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're considering it, just reach out, have that conversation, and know that, there's ongoing start dates. So if not now, then you'll figure out when the time is right for you, but you'll be able to share that intention with somebody, plant the seed and see what's possible. So, all right, Crystal, well, thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll reach out with the replay and then you guys connect with the coach. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Crystal. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. See you out there. Bye bye.